Hi and welcome along to AFTV. We are here for the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Semi-final first leg today. And waiting to find out what the team is going to be. Julian claims that we all know already what it's going to be. I'm not too sure, you know what I mean? There may be changes, there may not be. He may go strong. We're going to find out. But welcome along, Julian. Welcome along, Lee. Why are you laughing?
Well, he just said something in confidence and you just stitched him up.
He didn't say it in confidence, did he? He didn't say, don't say anything.
Well,
it's kind of off air.
Yeah, it's off air like that.
It's off air on air, we're all mates here, you know what I mean? Off air on air, we don't say anything off air that we ain't going to say on here, right?
Okay, all right.
Well, maybe he does, you know what I mean?
Name that team. Do you know they used to be named that tune? Like, name that team, like, you know, so.
Yeah. So how's it going? You good? You looking forward to this game?
I'm looking forward to it, but the first thing that kind of dawns on me is that we're going to a lot of football at the moment. And I'm enjoying it, and I can never get enough football, but I do think it's unnecessary that this semi-final is two legs. I think with the level the amount of games we've got, and that's true for all teams, that you just doesn't need to be.
I'd love it to be just a one. I know that it ain't been, it's not been for years now. Like, I can't remember the last time that it was. It was obviously a time that it was just one game. Whatever year that was, it was.
Well, I can't remember. Back in '87, it was two legs, wasn't it? I mean, it only came into existence, I think, this competition in the late '60s.
Yeah, so it was definitely, obviously in '87 we played Spurs twice, so it was before then. It must have been at some stage.
Yeah, but there was no European football then.
No, so I don't know why they actually made it 2 legs.
I'm wondering if it's 2 legs because, for TV. So obviously, when you get to this semi-final stage now, it's big, isn't it? It's like it's big, and the teams left in it are normally quite big now, right? So you get 4 games. The TV companies or the sponsors or whatever.
Money and all that lot. But I'd like it to be one leg neutral ground. So like for us now, it should be Villa Park or somewhere like that for one game, But
I actually think 2 legs is a fairer. I hear what I agree with you because there's so many games on at the moment, right? And for the players and stuff like that. But I actually do think 2 legs is a fair way of getting to a final.
It is fairer, but then you could extend that by saying, all right, if it's a draw after 2 games, then you can have a 3rd game or a 4th game, and it becomes even fairer. But you're extending the amount of games, you're extending the amount of minutes, and what you're getting is on both sides and all teams at the moment, you're getting far more injuries. So you're not getting the best product because they're being overplayed. It's not just Arsenal.
Yeah, well, it's like a cup week this week. We've got this, and then on the weekend another cup game, which is the FA Cup, which is another really tough game for us, particularly after how United played at the weekend. So it's going to be who's going to play tonight.
Yeah.
Does he go with a really strong team? Does he go with? Because at the end of the day, this is a chance for Mikel Arteta to win a trophy.
100%.
And he's been criticised for a lack of trophies. There's a lot of people saying that this season they want to see him lift something. Listen, this is not what we want to see him lift. We want to see him lift bigger things, but it'd be a great start, wouldn't it?
Do you remember we come out of the London Stadium last year and we lost that game and we said, we're not too bothered, blah, blah, blah.
But that was the last year before
we said that was going to be the last year that we was going we want to be going deep in all the competitions after that. We sort of we got to get our priorities right as well, make our standards a little bit higher. So when we're in these semi-finals, that's what we want. You know what I mean? Most teams have got a week off this week. I'd rather be playing tonight because you've got a chance of getting to Wembley, getting that first trophy. And I do think that, I'm not saying it's an important trophy. We know it's not the major one that we want and whatever. But I think if we can get one, it may snowball us onto other things. I don't know. I'll just give you that winning attitude.
Nothing's wrong with winning.
Well, it has happened in the past.
It has, yeah.
I mean,
by the way, you can see on the screen there's some players coming in. There's Declan Rice, Jurien Timber there walking out. I see Martinelli behind him as well. Right, there's Saliba. I'm sure I saw that Raheem Sterling there. I'm sure I see Raheem Sterling.
I think it was Gunnosaurus.
No, Gunnosaurus.
He's Gunnosaurus.
Yeah, it's Gunnosaurus, but I'm sure I saw Raheem Sterling just behind. And they can see the Newcastle team coming in here, Stan Byrne, right?
Who was the one behind him?
I don't know. It's one of their. That's obviously one of their
They've got a couple of
coaching
suspensions,
staff.
haven't they? They've
Yeah,
got a
there's
couple
no
of
Bruno
suspensions.
Guimaraes tonight.
There's no
And
Shah.
there's no Shah either. So those two are out. Those two are missing for them tonight. So
Be interesting, how many
Bruno
players we
Guimaraes,
got
a big one, obviously.
on bookings?
There's Kieran Trippier coming in there as well. So the Newcastle players coming in, and it's a big game. Joey with a super chat, he says, "I'm saying 2-1 Newcastle. I can't lie." Why are some people so pessimistic? Because we haven't lost the game at home this season. We've lost Arsenal this season. Have lost 3 games in all competitions.
Yeah,
They've lost 2 games in the league, and they lost 1 game against Milan. They don't concede loads of goals. I don't know why everybody, not everybody, but there's quite a few people I've spoken to very pessimistic about this game.
Is it just tonight? Because you do have to look at Newcastle's form. We've not come up against a team recently that's had such good form. They've really turned it around.
We played Nottingham Forest, right? Beat them 3-0. They came here unbeaten.
They're not as big a club as Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle
they're ahead of Newcastle.
They're second in the league.
They are ahead.
Joint second with us.
They are ahead, but they're still not as big a team as Newcastle.
Well, you could argue. I don't know, man. You could argue they've won two European Cups.
Okay.
Newcastle haven't won a trophy since 1950 odd. Yeah. Any trophy.
Yeah, but they've got.
How are they so big?
But they've got massive financial backing behind them, and they're on form, and they've got a quality manager. I'm not saying Forest aren't in a good place at the moment. They're in a terrific place, but Newcastle's backing and Newcastle's form, and I think Eddie Howe, he's got them organised. I don't think there was anything fundamentally wrong with them. He just kind of made a few little changes. He brought Tonali back, which I know he's out today. He sort of moved Anthony Gordon back out to the left wing, and it all seemed to click for them. In the last 6 games, I think...
They brought Tonali back. Tonali was on a ban.
Yeah.
So they bought him for big money, didn't they?
No, but what I meant is they brought him back to the number 6 role. They made him more defensive, which then allowed Guimaraes to go a little bit further forward. So he just made a few tactical changes, moved Anthony back over to the left, and since then it's all clicked.
Who's he been talking to?
It's all my own
talking
work.
to somebody. Listen, they're obviously they're on form, but Arsenal have not lost the game for ages. I mean, as well. I mean, I think our unbeaten run stretches back further than this.
I think it's to do with the way we play. We've not been electric. But then also with that, right? Again, I know at the weekend, right? But in the last round in this, we had Crystal Palace. People thought we was going to lose.
Right, we beat Crystal Palace. We did a 3-1 at home, and then we went and put 5 past them away. Put 5 past them. I think the previous game it was West Ham. Put 5 past them away. Ain't like we. I think we're the 3rd highest scorers in the league. So I don't know, right? I mean, I know sometimes you look at the weekend's game and you're like, well, that was, but it ain't like we ain't been.
I said the other day, I'm not enjoying watching the Arsenal play, and one of the reasons, someone said, "Oh, what about Crystal Palace when we won 5-1 there?" And I said, "Yeah, but we lost Saka that day," and that was on my mind all the time because I thought, well, we lost Saka. Even I thought Brentford, it was a really good away performance, but really there was a 10-minute spell where he was off.
But
get the Brighton, I never jumped up once.
3 past Brentford.
Apart from the goal. When was the other time we got it? It was freezing cold. It was just stood there.
I mean,
it just stood there. It was just it was a poor game. And I think that's where it comes from, you know what I mean? But listen, I think in the cup games today, I don't know how you feel, I'm a little bit more relaxed than what I would be for a league game.
Because it's something different. Yeah. And we are, and whatever you want to say about this competition, we're a couple of games away from Wembley. And we haven't been there as a group for a long time. I mean,
it's a chance to go to Wembley. It's a chance to get to a final. I think that as fans we've got to be really grasp this one and really go for it because I know this competition can be a bit naff, but once you start getting to these stages, it's different. You're in the semi-final. It's a different ball game.
But it's also a bigger game for Newcastle because, as you rightly pointed out, Newcastle are a big club in one sense. They've got massive financial backing, they've got massive support, but they haven't won anything for 60 years. So for them to get to a final is far bigger than it is for us. And they haven't got Europe either. So they've got less to go for. So they'll
go strong for sure.
Yeah, as strong as they can go.
Yeah.
And also they haven't got a particularly difficult tie at the weekend in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
so They've got no Europe.
Who have they got at the weekend?
I did look at it. It was someone. I wouldn't say completely nondescript. It wasn't like a non-league team, but it was like maybe.
But it's somewhere where they can afford to rotate. Where I don't, we've got we will rotate, but I think it'd probably be Sunday. We can't up front, can we?
Sure,
I think it's a big thing today if Havertz is available. At least if he's available, that'd be a good thing.
I can't see him being available to start if he's not well enough to be on the bench.
No, but that was
only a few days ago.
That was Saturday.
Yeah, but it's a few days ago. This isn't it's a illness which takes a few days to get over.
The flu.
It takes.
Well, I've had the flu, but it does take a while to get over. But then, how do you don't know at what stage of he's got it? Because remember the last game, Arteta was saying the last game that he thought he might play, and then he was lying. Well, he weren't lying. He just weren't able to play. He said that basically Havertz said to him, "I just I still feel rough."
But if he still feels rough a few days ago, all right, he could be better enough maybe to be on the bench, but I wouldn't have thought he's a starter.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I don't think he's got any chance of starting, or if he has, he's going to be brought off. Because we saw with Martinelli and Odegaard, they were just completely off it.
That'd be interesting about Odegaard.
They were sick. I know. I spoke to somebody who was around the Arsenal before the game. Martinelli, Odegaard were only in that squad on the weekend, right? Because just for mere numbers. Yeah. And when they came on, you could see, especially Martinelli, he was so off it. It was unreal
because he relies on speed.
Well, it's just.
And I think that's the first thing that goes if you're going to.
Your sick, your levels drop. You know what I mean? And that sickness has been going around.
Odegaard didn't look right, did he?
No,
it didn't.
But they've been back in training, those two. So maybe they're at the end of it. I don't know. Maybe they've come through it. I mean, having a bad cold, it has to take its course, really, isn't it? You can't. Yeah. It's not something that you can just
how good your doctors are.
Yeah. Hopefully, as Havertz is at least available today, so it gives you an option off the bench, because otherwise we haven't got an option.
Yeah. Gabriel, obviously Gabriel Jesus has been, he just did well in the last round in this competition. Was a bit non-existent on the weekend, but it's going to be an important game for him. And of course, we're going to be coming up against a striker that we'd all love to see at Arsenal, Alexander Isak, who's absolutely on fire at the moment.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing him play.
Well, but this is the weird thing. We're not, are we?
No.
It's like he's one of the star players, and you'd expect to want to pay your money to see the stars, but we don't. If we heard just before the game, he'd sort of pulled up in the warm up and he couldn't play, we'd be delighted.
Yeah, I think with Isak, I didn't think he was brilliant against Spurs. What I see of it, but he still pops up with the goal, and this is what good players do. That is the thing with us, you know what I mean? I just don't think we've got that.
We've got that killer.
Yeah, we haven't got that player that like Jesus, very, very good. Martinelli as well as Wanyeri and Trossard. But I'll be interested to see what happens with Trossard today, because
he was really. He must have.
Poor.
He must have been sick. The way he played, he was awful.
He has fallen off a cliff from last season. Last season he was sensational towards the back end of last season when he scored.
He even started off this season pretty good. When he came off the bench against Villa, he scored. He didn't celebrate. He was annoyed that he wasn't starting.
Since then he's done nothing.
It's like Arteta's given him his chance. He did his little strop, and Arteta sort of gave him, started him, and since then, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't
performed.
Well, one of them got to turn up tonight. And would you look at the game tonight? What would be for you the minimum result required to, because we got to go to it. We have to win for you.
Yeah.
No, we just don't have to lose. At minimum, just don't lose as a minimum. So I still think it's a two-leg game. It's only half time, and they will be under a serious pressure to go out and attack. So if we could even get...
We ain't done well up there, though.
We haven't.
Recent times.
We haven't, but quite often a draw for them has been a good result against us in the league.
Yeah, well, they
this time
they
have to go.
Us in the
yeah,
last.
but what I'm saying is the way that they've set up against us.
They beat us in the last.
Premier League games.
With a draw tonight.
I wouldn't be happy with the draw, but you said the question was what would be the minimum. The minimum result is not to lose. I wouldn't be happy with it with the draw, but it's
Raheem Sterling, I can confirm, is there. That was Raheem Sterling who I saw, and not Gunnosaurus, as you can see there from that picture. Smart ass. You know what I mean? So Raheem Sterling's there, so that's another option. Of course, he's been
Well,
out,
that's a good option
injured.
to have, like,
Yeah, but if he's just walking in, that doesn't mean he's in the squad.
Well,
does
he's
it?
walking in a tracksuit. If he was sick, he wouldn't be there, would he? If he was injured, he wouldn't be walking in, would he?
So if they wear a tracksuit.
Huh?
Yeah, if he's in the squad walking through that,
Yeah, why would he be there? If he's injured, he'd be at home, wouldn't he?
Or he'd be,
Or be in the stands.
Okay, we'll see. I'm not saying he's not. I just wondered if sort of wearing a
Oh,
tracksuit.
you're not so smart now, are you?
No, I never said he was. I never said he wasn't. I just was just making sure. No, we didn't see it.
Well, I did see it.
But we did see Gunnosaurus.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we said.
And Gunnosaurus, was he in a tracksuit?
No,
No, so he's not playing. He's not in the squad.
didn't have one to fit.
Listen, we're awaiting the team. Hopefully, it should come out very, very soon. Tanis saying Riziki linked to the Edu role again.
I'll see that today.
Yeah.
Fantastic, but not till next year, is it? Next season.
Michael Harper says we're on the verge of a good season, but it could implode. Tough fixtures ahead: the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, Spurs in the league. Without squad depth or January signings, Mwani, Vlahovic, Mamouche, silverware will slip away. Act now, or we'll regret it later. I think that's a good super chat. I like that. Act now. Don't let it slip away. We're threadbare at the moment. Reinforcements are required this month. Early this month as well, in my opinion. I mean,
100%. Listen, Julian's always one that don't want to be spending this, don't want to be spending that. But even he has said, look, we need someone. And then, like, you know,
Yeah, but in the forward areas.
Yeah, I'm not saying
what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be a centre forward.
No, an
It's
attacking
just
option.
An attacking option.
Yeah, I think that,
At least one.
I think if we don't get that, I think it will bite us going forward. More.
Well, it's not even biting us going forward. We need it now.
Yeah, well, we do. I don't.
Especially
do you
now
think
where
they're
he's-
going to do it now? I don't think they
Well,
will.
if there's someone available, I think they're going to be pushed into it.
They have to. Lewis Miley fan says, how many goals tonight to secure the final? 3-0, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think you have to. I think 2-0.
Two clear goals is
secure.
Last couple of times we've lost.
I think I'd be very.
We've lost up there. It's been like a 1-0, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And
it's been even.
And also, Arsenal don't concede a lot of goals. They don't. You know, I mean, how many? I don't think no team scored more than 2 goals against us this season. So a 2-0 would be a great result.
Yeah,
I think,
2 clear goals, like 4-2. Who cares? There's no away goals. 3-1, 2-0.
Richie
5-3.
CFC.
I'd like to see a 5-3. I'd like to see some entertainment.
Richie CFC trying to get smarter. He said Newcastle won the championship season 11 and 17. 2011, 2017, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about big trophies. Carl says Nico Williams has 2 goals in all competitions. He hasn't really. But
he's got about 3 assists as well. He hasn't done well this season.
I'm not exactly like.
I'd still love to see him.
Why?
Yeah, because he's an exciting player, and he's only scored 2 goals.
When's he been exciting?
Didn't you see him in the Euros? Well, he scored in the final.
In the Euros, you know, Marino done well in the Euros.
Yeah.
You know, and
Marino ain't been that bad. The way some people have been scathing of him, I think, has been way over the top.
Yeah, but if you're going to judge it on who scored in the final, John Jensen scored in the final.
Yeah,
no,
he did.
This kid is a good player. He's
what?
awful,
but he wasn't great.
I think he's a player we could do.
I've not been that impressive with him.
He'd offer another threat down that side, right, down the left-hand side, right, that we need at the moment. Because even when Saka's there, if all the threat comes down the right, and we need to address that. And I just think a player of his quality, his skill, a player that's got very high ceiling, he's still a very, very young player. I think it'd be a great signing. Highbury Scene says Havertz's shirt has been spotted, hung up in the dressing room. We have seen that.
How do they know that?
No, there's a picture of it.
Yeah, it could be,
it's been posted.
From a kit man.
Amory Nail says, when we win a 1-0, we sing 1-0 to the Arsenal. But if we draw, because of a referee's stupid decision, we blame the team for not scoring enough. Can't have it, but I like that.
Yeah,
I like that text.
Listen, that game on Saturday, we didn't do enough. But, people will say that decision did affect the game. You can't argue that,
Okay, Kyle says, we're the only club that doesn't take this competition seriously. We need it for that trophy total. Liverpool have won it around 18 times.
Yeah.
Well, we did get to the final. We always get to Man City was the last time we got to the final. We then we were at Birmingham.
Yeah, and then
And we lost both of those.
Well, I remember the one at
both of
Chelsea
those
as
were
well
horrible.
when they played
Cardiff.
their full. They played
Yeah,
their full
oh,
strength
man.
team, and like we played all
Don't
about.
get me, Lee. I'll tell you, that's one of the most angriest I've ever been at a football game. You know, when I went to that game and I saw the team sheet, and I'm like, we can win a final here, and we actually went 1-0 up. Remember?
Yeah,
Walcott's-
Theo Walcott's first goal.
Yeah,
for
that was in Wales, wasn't it?
That was in
Cardiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardiff, man, saw that team come out. I'm like, what is Wenger doing? Kaiser France, big up Kaiser France. He says, "Hi Robbie, tomorrow I will defend the honour, the excellence, and the undeniable greatness of Ingrid Landmark." He's always talking about this person, Tanda Voigt. Tomorrow I will respond to Matisse, who dared to mock Ingrid. Please, Robbie, right? Yeah, it's been. We're still trying to figure out who Ingrid is. I think she's a triathlete or skier or something. Heard of her?
No.
All right, do your research.
All right.
Right, we're still waiting for the team to come out. It's not out yet, is it? It's not come out yet. What is going to be very significant about tonight's game, apart from it being a semi-final? Let me test your knowledge.
All right, can you give us a clue?
No
What's
clue.
significant about it?
Apart from it being a semi-final,
Yep.
something is going to happen in this game tonight that
Yeah,
has
the
never
VAR.
happened
Oh,
before.
yeah,
Well done, Lee.
Yeah.
Well done, Lee.
Talking over the VAR.
The VAR will be explained. The referee is going to be mic'd up and will explain his decisions on the pitch.
So he's going to be connected to the PA system, and then he's going to speak.
Yeah,
to the
you know,
crowd.
like in
That's gonna be
American
great.
football, where they come to, he comes to
yeah.
and he goes, decision, 5
Holding.
yard, holding, 5 yard penalty. But I like this idea.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
like that.
I want to hear what you've got to say.
It's going to be interesting, the reaction to the crowd, to the referee speaking to the crowd. I'm sure everyone will be very mature.
I just wish it weren't available. Like the last round, it weren't available. Why is it available now?
Because they're
VAR.
testing it.
No, but why is VAR?
You know what? I think you're right, you know, Lee. I preferred it without it.
No,
What, to not have it
Remember
explained?
when we was at
no,
the...
not VAR was not even
Yeah,
in
because
the last few
it
games.
can't be put into every club, can it? Same with the FA
Yeah.
Cup. So they play like non-league
Yeah, so
teams.
like-
It's-
so-
What was it, the game we went...
Don't have it.
Preston.
yeah,
You know, goals scored, celebrate.
yeah.
No worrying about, you know, you look over, you see the ref going like this, you're like, oh my
So
God.
you see
know what I
the,
mean?
the Liverpool Man United game, and if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. When Capco scores, the crowd go absolutely wild. It's unbelievable, like Anfield and that. And then it come up VAR check, and there was silence.
Well, they ain't even got screamers.
Silence. Yeah, they ain't got screens or nothing. There's silence. That ain't what football's about no more. Like, just talk about suck the energy out of an atmosphere. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, but you already said they went wild for the goal, and then when VAR came up, so they had their moment, and then they had their
No, but
moment
you-
again. But ultimately, you do want to get the
me at the
decision
moment
right.
at games, every time we score, I do go wild, but I'm
Yeah.
like, out of one eye, I'm looking.
yes,
But
And if I
ultimately,
see
but
this,
you want it right.
or when you see the ref start walking back
But they're not
really
getting it right,
slowly,
Jimmy,
No, but you want
that's the thing.
them to have every opportunity to get them right, and every assistance.
and then
to
they
get them
don't
right.
even get it right.
do you like VAR? Do you enjoy watching football with VAR?
I do enjoy watching it less, but then the other part of it is when Arsenal have been wronged by a terrible decision that would have been picked up by VAR, then I hate that. I feel really cheated, and that the whole season could have come down to one moment where it could have been obvious if they just watched it again.
I'm not enjoying how they use
And the
it.
offsides that they do get right.
I'm not enjoying how they use it. I'm just like, the way it's used in this country, it's caused more problems than I thought it was going to come in and clear loads of things up.
That's made it worse.
And actually, it's made it worse.
I don't agree with this.
And I actually feel that, you know, I've sort of got to the... Maybe if on the weekend, he just gave the decision on the pitch, I would have accepted that. I would have still looked back at the replay and thought, no, I don't think that's a penalty. But I would have accepted it.
More so,
He
yeah, I'm with
maybe
you.
he couldn't see it. But when somebody's got cameras and all that to check and stuff like that, and I see some of the decisions. The other day, that Ipswich game against Chelsea.
Yeah, this is scandalous.
When I see that Delap dive like that, and that's not overturned, I'm like, well, then there's no point in it.
Yeah.
It then starts to, or maybe what they should just do is just have it for offsides.
Yeah, but not with this offsides when you're drawing lines and all that.
And then,
Like,
but
if you
then
draw the
in
line,
other
it's
countries, they got
onside.
that ball now, innit? They got the technology in the ball where they can
So it's
get it
semi-automatic.
instantly.
But then the issue with the Brighton penalty was that they didn't use VAR because they made the decision so instantly. They didn't have time to look back at it. If they'd actually taken a bit more time and looked at it from different angles, they would have seen it wasn't a penalty.
Then what's the point?
Well, what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with the technology. It's the fact that they weren't utilising it correctly.
It's the way they use it, yeah.
So technology is good.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. It's them using it, isn't it?
It's still an opinion, though, isn't it? It's still an opinion.
It's an opinion, but
that's where it's wrong. It's not fact.
But it gives them. But it's always, unless you have robots to do it.
Maybe that will be the answer.
And it probably will eventually. And that's when it.
Get rid of all of them. Maybe we can have a robot on the pitch as well.
Probably.
Yeah, I think with VAR, and I always say this, the goal line technology, I've got no problem with that because it's facts. Even with the offsides, there's still a little bit of grey area, but it is fact. But it's still like, you might think it's a penalty, I might not. And
but if a few people that are qualified look at it, because ultimately you've got the referee and the linesman who have an opinion, and then you've got...
All right, I've got the team. I've got the team. Let me interrupt you there. And this is the team that starts the game tonight.
Can't be Neto.
Yeah.
In goal, it's not Neto, it is David Raya, as we know. Urian Timber returns to the starting lineup. He was suspended, of course, on the weekend. Saliba and Gabriel, they are both in the team. At left back,
Lewis.
Yeah.
Skelly.
where you going? Where you going, Lewis Skelly?
Yeah.
Where you go?
Lewis Skelly.
It is Lewis Skelly.
Yeah.
A midfield of Rice, Partey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Odegaard. He's going strong.
And up front.
Well, we know who's up front.
What's up front?
Well, we don't know if
let's just look at his face.
I'm going to say Havertz going to play, Trossard and Martinelli.
Where are you going?
I'd say those two, but you'd have Jesus in there.
Havertz, you saw it on the screen. Havertz is back in the team.
Right.
At the player you said, no way will he start tonight, Julian. He starts. Havertz starts the game. Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz. So let me just give you a recap on that again. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard and Havertz. Actually, the strongest...
So Jesus is out then? He's left him on the bench?
Right, on the bench is Porter. Who's he? Right, but maybe he's a backup goalkeeper. Zinchenko, Tierney, Kivior, Calafiori, Jorginho, Marino, Raheem Sterling, and Gabriel Jesus. That is the bench.
Okay, so we've got...
That's the strongest team we've had for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Team, I think that is available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jesus is on the bench.
We're a couple of players back. So we're only really missing from the forward line. We're missing Saka and Wanyeri.
Yeah, Saka, right? So
a couple of options on the bench in Jesus.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, what do you make of that team? That's not bad. That's that's pretty stronger than what we had on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can ever accuse him now of not taking the competition seriously.
Well, he's definitely taking it seriously.
I would have still liked to have seen Jesus maybe play on the right.
I'm surprised he didn't start with Jesus because Jesus has done well in this competition.
Yeah. Well, it could be because Havertz, he's coming back from an illness, but again, Havertz doesn't rely like Martinelli on his speed. So maybe it's not as debilitating for him.
All right, let me give you the Newcastle team. You can see it up there, actually. It's Dubravka, Livramento, Botman, Byrne, Hall, Willock, of course, returning to the Emirates, Tonali and Joe Linton, Murphy, Isak and Gordon. And of course,
they've got as strong as they can.
Yeah, no Bruno Guimaraes, of course. And then on the bench, they've got Odysseus, Trippier, Barnes, Target, Asula, Almiron, Kelly, Longstaff and Miley.
So they've got quite a strong bench.
Yeah,
they've got as strong as they can.
Strong as they can. Obviously, they're missing Bruno Guimaraes. They're missing Shah, and I think Arsenal need to try and take advantage of the fact that they're missing those guys as well, especially the Bruno Guimaraes one, because we all know his quality.
Yeah,
but a strong Arsenal team, guys.
Yeah, it's a team that should be able to beat them. And again, it'd be interesting to see how Newcastle play, whether they play as defensively as they have done in the last few games against us. I mean, I know the last one we went out and won quite easily because I think we got an early goal, whereas the game before that was probably the most boring game I've seen at Arsenal since Arteta's got there. They just defended the whole game, which I thought was disgraceful for a team with that kind of finance. Yeah,
Pavanji says, when Turkish gave the window a 4 out of 10, we got rid of all our forward depth and only signed Sterling. Robbie laughed at him. I didn't laugh at him. Right, get your facts right. Now he's begging for a forward. No, if you actually go back, watch transfer dailies during the summer, I was begging for a forward then. And I said that's what we lacked. So get your facts right before you come on, right? After a few minutes.
That's out of order.
Right? Huh?
That's out of order.
You've got to get your facts right. You're coming on and going to make accusations, right?
Get it
right. I said we had a good window, but we didn't buy a striker.
Yeah, well,
and we are lacking that
said
striker.
that.
Afro Saxon says Rice not even on the bench. Is he injured?
Rice
is in the team. Yeah, Rice is in the team.
That's why he's not on the bench.
Yeah.
Nick Bell says, can you say a happy birthday to my friend, Hossam? Yes, we can.
Happy
birthday.
I can speak the try catches that. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Neto isn't even on the bench, says Joey. That's because he's copped. Well, he's got to play on Saturday.
He's got to play Sunday, yeah.
That'd be his first
Sunday,
game,
sorry.
won't it?
Yeah, he's got to play Sunday.
Well, actually, no, it's still a big game. Are you going to
think
throw him in against Man United?
Yeah, I think you got to. That's what I
That is true, you know. That's a big game, you know.
Yeah, but what happens if anything happens to him, to Raya? You know, you've got to throw him in against Spurs. I'd rather him play against... I'd rather him get some sort of game before he gets thrown into a Premier League.
Man United at home.
Kagin says, buy cheap, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Tired of scrubs, e.g. Marino. I'll tell you, I think some people have been really harsh on Marino. As I said, he came in. Listen, he's not lit up the place, obviously, but
he's never going to lie. He's never going to lie.
He's not that kind of player.
But he's coming, right? The guy got injured straight away. He's had no pre-season, right? And he ain't been that bad. He's scored goals, scored a couple of goals. How long did it take Granit Xhaka to score for us?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great for about 3 seasons.
I actually watched his performance, but I thought I'm going to have a little watch of I watched that game back, just to watch him. 6 times he makes a brilliant little turn, very, very quick, and then he just plays it back. He's very safe in his game. I don't think he's ever going to be that sort of player. Like, you know, when you look at Xhaka used to get the ball and pump it into players forward and all that.
He used to get us into a lot of trouble.
He did, of course he did.
Gave away a lot of penalties.
I'm not saying we're comparing. Well, I don't know why we're comparing him with Xhaka anyway. Like,
he plays a similar position.
I want to, mate. Well, I want better than that. I want better than Xhaka, and I want better than you know. So when you get rid of a player, ideally the player coming in, you want it to be better and improve you, and it's not. I think he's not as good as Xhaka towards the end of what we had with Xhaka at the end. And I think that when people go, Xhaka weren't great. Well, Xhaka was about 23, 24 when he signed. I think he's 28, 29. He's like in his prime. This is the prime of him. Like, we ain't gonna.
Yeah, it still takes a player. Listen,
he's got to integrate into the team, and he had the injuries.
Some players, you know, he didn't have a pre-season. Some players, it does take them longer than others, though, doesn't
it? Yeah. Like, listen, he's a squad player. In my opinion, he's a squad player.
But he's a good squad player.
Never said he weren't, but you know, he's not gonna. I mean, not gonna win your leagues.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tonali. He's a different type of player, but he obviously was out for a long time, and now he's starting to integrate into the team, and they're seeing the best of him. You do need a run before you can be.
Yeah, but he's a better player.
Well, because we don't know for definite. Marino won't be at that level. Will integrate and be that one that clicks.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's a bit like.
I'm pretty sure Bruno Guimaraes is a better player.
Okay, but I've seen players over the years.
Definitely.
I mean, I've seen players over the years that you might not say.
Rice come in and hit the ground running?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did. But individually,
he's played in this league, though.
That's what you buy, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Should you be buying players if you're going to try and win the league?
But it's 100 million quid.
Whoa!
You can't buy like £300-400 million players.
He's a £30 million player.
Yeah.
That's what.
But it's not all about a brilliant player coming into a team and being a brilliant player. It's about how they integrate into a team. Like, I think about players in the past, like Kevin Richardson, Gilberto. They weren't necessarily flair players, but they did a role in the team, and they were pretty crucial.
Different players.
But they were like integrated, and they became.
Gilberto was a holding midfield player, done a really, really good job. I don't really know where Marino plays, what his position is. Or what his best position is.
Your box-to-box midfielder.
Box-to-box midfield player, right, okay. If that's what he is, he's an average box-to-box player. I don't think that, you know, you look at Declan Rice, he's not an average box-to-box player.
No, Declan Rice is a better player than him.
Yeah.
But I think that, but I think like there are times, listen, great talk there. about Kevin Richardson when he was playing, but Kevin Richardson wasn't the main player.
No, we don't need
But nor is
11
Marino
main.
the main
We
player.
don't need
I don't know
11
if he's
main
not.
players.
I
We need one great team.
I just feel that
Who is
sometimes...
the number 8 at Arsenal?
I just feel that sometimes, Lee, I'm not saying this guy is going to turn out to be a brilliant player, but the way in which they give players no time no more.
No,
right?
I agree with that.
I
He is
think,
what he is.
I remember at the start of this season, right, I'm not going to name the person, they were absolutely slating off Thomas Partey, saying that this guy should be sold, he's always injured, get rid, right, when's the last... And then now that same person, right, a couple of weeks ago was
Same
crying when he was left out of the team.
Yeah,
Right, so, you know...
Thomas Partey is a good player, though.
He's a very, very good player, but I'm saying it was like, get him out. He's always injured. You know what I mean?
Well, that's cost us, Rob.
Right.
But one of the reasons that Ben White's not playing tonight is because of Tomiyasu. You know what I mean? Because he's had to play and play and play because we haven't got Tomiyasu. So I do think availability is a key.
Of course, it's an important. Availability is a key. Availability is important. But what I'm saying is sometimes people just say stuff. Get him out. He's free. The guy's only just come.
No,
you know what I mean? I heard Rodri. He said, my first season at City was terrible. He goes, I couldn't find my feet. Now, guys won the Ballon d'Or. Now, you know what I mean? When he's out of the team,
if Mourinho wins the Ballon d'Or.
No, I'm not saying Mourinho's going to win.
What ends up if he wins the Ballon d'Or?
I'm not saying he's going to win the Ballon d'Or, but I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example that there's we've seen a lot of players come to Arsenal. Dennis Bergkamp, people
yes, and he should have scored on Sunday as well.
He should have done.
Sitter. When I look back at that, I didn't realise it at the time.
No, he should have scored, yeah.
With the free kick.
Oh, yeah.
So should Partey, by the way. He should, Thomas Partey should have scored as well.
He's like, you know what I mean, miles
London Nomad says, his super chat, he says, it's come out Arteta has the final say on transfers. He's responsible with not replacing Xhaka and ended up with Marino. Slowly losing faith with Arteta. Again, people piling in on Marino.
Listen, Marino is what he is. He's not
getting the latest scapegoat player, in my opinion.
I don't think he. I think he's a squad player. He's not going to win you the league. In my
but
opinion.
you just said he's £30 million player. He is a squad player. He is a player that he's not Declan Rice. He's not my. And by the way, when we bought Odegaard, I remember loads of people slagging him, slagging that signing as well. Why we bought Odegaard? I mean, Real Madrid reject. Why we should have gone Buendia?
They wanted Madison. They wanted.
It was get Buendia.
The Villa one, Buendia.
Now, how much is Odegaard worth? So sometimes you do have to have a bit of patience.
There was another one they were going
because he didn't hit the ground running. Martin Odegaard, did he?
Well, he had to come in at a difficult time,
Yeah, but he didn't hit the ground running, did he?
Yeah,
and
Marino's coming in at a difficult time. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries around him.
Listen, Odegaard come into the team when it weren't great. It was COVID, and it was a little bit more difficult for him. And listen, he's been fantastic for us, and you always see a player in there. I watch Marino, and the eyes don't lie. Now, it doesn't excite me in any shape or form, in any way, as a midfield player. I don't think he's got enough pace. He doesn't his defence splitting balls. He doesn't win enough balls for me.
Splitting ball on a Saturday.
A little chip through to Julian. He still had a lot to do after that when you're in. It wasn't a defence splitting ball, you know what I mean? When you're playing in your Maccabi league, I'm pretty sure you may chuck passes.
Still led to the goal though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
doesn't mean to say you're a great player, Robbie.
Doesn't say
you do one assist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't say he's a great player, but it's a key moment in the game.
Whatever he is.
It's a key moment in the game.
But he's not for me.
If he comes on tonight and does that, all right, and we score, we win the game.
Listen, he's an Arsenal player. I'll back him and everything like that. But if you're going to say to me, where were you putting him in? He's not getting in my favourite Arsenal team and never will do.
But I have to say, I did agree. One thing you said was very correct. I did put a lot of balls through like that in Maccabi League.
Yeah.
Afro
That's
Saxon
why no
says,
one knows. We see another, by the way, player that played.
He was a few years older than me.
And he didn't know.
Do you remember Julian Becker? He went, no.
There's a lot of teams. And
it's funny that though, isn't it?
It is funny. Afro Saxon says, thanks for the correction. Regards to transfers, what does the panel think of Igor Paxial? He looks electric, left or right, middle or up front, dynamic. That's a player that's been linked with Arsenal, plays up front for final.
He's one of your favourites. Go on. What do you think of him?
I haven't got a clue.
Oh, I was hoping you'd...
I haven't got a clue.
You heard of him before?
Box of Oranges says, ask the Arsenal transfer intellectuals where Hossim Aouar is currently playing.
That's who I was trying to get out that
player that everybody cried for. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have seen him come.
Well, he was, I'll tell you, was it
Absolutely.
Leon or someone like
Leon
that? He
or
was a
Monaco
terrific
or
player. I
something.
watched him a few times.
No,
and
he
you
was
thought,
terrific in that
"What?"
league.
Yeah, of course, but he never come. And where did he ever end up? That's a great question.
I think.
And his price
he
was going
playing
down.
in-
They wanted like 30,
30
40,
odd million.
50
I think he
million.
went on a free to somewhere in the end.
Yeah, is he playing in the UAE? No, I'm not.
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
not
He was
100% sure.
a.
And because there was a choice, wasn't there? Do you want Partey or Aouar? And I didn't really know much about either of them. But then someone told me that Aouar is very similar to Ozil. I said, right, we'll have Partey.
Yeah, oh, that's a great question, that, because he was like a talent, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. We're coming to towards the end of the show. You know what, right? We was doing the Bias Premier League show yesterday. I'm going to leave you guys with this, right, to construct this. Maybe we'll go for it when we do the Invincible podcast, yeah? There's a guy posed this challenge to us yesterday in the Bias Premier League show. Your best Emirates era 11.
Era, as in you pick one.
So those players are the Emirates era, not Highbury, the Emirates era. It was really interesting.
So basically,
really interesting.
you pick your best 11 from
the Emirates era.
Yeah, from the Emirates
so,
era.
you know, players like, I don't know, Van Persie,
Fabregas.
players like, yeah.
You still had
It's a
Henry was still.
very interesting.
Henry was still in it, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Still
No,
there.
but you couldn't.
Oh,
the
was it?
way
It had
we
to be
did it,
during
we
the-
weren't including players like Henry because their best era was in the Highbury era.
So
It was the guys who-
what about Fabregas? Because he
No,
played at
Fabregas,
Highbury.
yeah, but
he played at
Fabregas was in
Highbury.
it because his main era was in.
Okay, so
Yeah.
right, okay.
Right, so
I'll have a think about that.
put that together for when we do the
I
show.
like that.
No, I like that.
It was a very good. We were coming up with.
There's only two goalkeepers you can choose between.
Yeah,
Raya.
I'll tell you what. We came up with some strong teams as well.
Raya or Ramsdale. The rest of them, I don't think have been any good.
Yeah, well, I chose Raya. I'll just give
Yeah.
you that as a thing. It was Raya for me.
Yeah. Who would you choose, Raya or
I mean, you had
Ramsdale?
Leno in there. You certainly weren't.
Yeah,
you know,
wasn't
some of
Leno.
the-
No, it wasn't Leno.
Wasn't
really,
Chesney? Well, I like
Could-
Chesney.
could probably
Somebody
go Martinez.
in the chat
Martin,
went
but
for
he wasn't
Chesney.
there
Wasn't
long
there
enough.
long enough?
Somebody in the chat went for Chesney, but I didn't.
I like Chesney. I liked his.
I liked him, but he
Yeah.
wasn't
He weren't.
top notch, was he?
All right, let me run through the 11 again. This is the 11 for the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Kick-off at 8 p.m. tonight. We've got the watch along. The guys are getting ready for that. In goal, David Raya. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Lewis Skelly. Excuse me, at left back. A midfield of Rice, Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. And up front, Martinelli, Trossard and Kai Havertz returns to the team. On the bench, the most significant names on there are Calafiori, Jesus and Sterling. Sterling back in the squad after injury. And the Newcastle team, Dubravka, Botman, Joe Linton, Tonali, Gordon, Isak Hall, Livramento, Murphy, Willock and their captain, Dan Burn. Big game tonight. It's the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Remember, it's over 2 legs. First leg tonight, the second leg's being played in February. A chance to get into the final at Wembley. Let's get your predictions before we go, guys.
2-0.
Lee?
I think it'll be 1-0 to Arsenal.
You go 1-0?
Yeah.
2-0.
I'm going 2-0 as well. I'm going 2-0. Actually, Isak. 3-1. I'll go 3-1.
I'll take that.
Let's see. We're going to find out. Thanks very much for joining us here. And don't forget to join the guys coming up very soon with a watch along.